Hey friends, Kevin Gehring here, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender here with this week's weekly real estate report. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart and see what's happening this week. Well, let's start with the green line like I always do, because really that to me is the most interesting thing happening is still the lack of inventory. And we've got 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row of really very little inventory increase. It's just hovering right there around the 2,000 mark. Now, remember, this is 2,000 homes across a huge section: Sacramento County, San Joaquin County, Placer County, El Dorado County. Those are 4 counties I'm looking at, and we only have 2,000 homes on the market. And you have to remember, some of these homes are giant luxury homes that very few people are going to be interested in. Well, we're all interested in them, but few of us can afford them. All the way down to very small condos. So, you know, it covers a wide area, but it is what it is, right? And we just don't have the inventory. But here's something interesting. Even though we don't have much inventory, the pending sales are just continuing to climb. And, you know, I was looking at the red line up here, which is homes that are sold. And remember, it's not the same. So the median price is times 1,000, pending is times 10, active times 10, but the sold is the actual number. So we had 900 sold homes a few weeks ago. We're down to 780 or so right now. But look at across the board, you know, going back in history, we are really at a normal sales volume. You know, when you consider, you know, going back, what is the highest that I've ever recorded was back over here. Hopefully I can pull this date up. Yeah, back in 2015 at almost 1,000 homes per week being sold. So 2014 is over here. So if we look 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, here's 21. So we really are in a very normal volume amount, which is an interesting thing. You wouldn't think that. But the price just keeps going up, up, up. So speaking of price, let's look at the median home sales right here. And so we've got 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row where we're really kind of holding steady right about 536,000 for the median sales price of the homes that we're looking at here. Now, 3 weeks in a row. Does that mean a trend? Are we looking at home prices finally starting to flatten out? Well, I don't think so. Because if we go back and look, even at the last several months, we've got 1, 2, 3 right here where it steadied out. We've got 1, 2, 3 right here where it actually saw a decline, right? And so that's just because we have 3 in a row really doesn't mean anything. It's going to take a lot more than that to create a trend. And also the stats for this week have yet to fully come in. So hard to say what's going to happen with that. But let's talk about rates. Now, here's some fantastic news for everybody out there, home buyers, refinancers. Rates, Freddie Mac reports, let me get my numbers over here. Freddie Mac reports rates went back down this week. So last week, remember, we crossed over into the 3. This week, we're back down under 3. So Freddie Mac is reporting the average is 2.95%. with 0.7 of a point. Now remember, that's the average, right? So if you're out there, you're shopping for a home loan, and you know, don't look at beating the average, because it's the rate you get is going to be dependent upon several things, right? Number 1, credit score obviously plays a part in this. And by the way, what is a good credit score? Now, I have a lot of people call me up and say, Kevin, I've got fantastic credit. Let me tell you right now, my credit is in the 800, high 800s. All right, credit scores are different all across the board. There's all different kinds of credit scores. And let's talk specifically, one of them is like Vantage score. A lot of people see their Vantage score, which is not a FICO score. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Corporation. So those are the credit scores that we look at as mortgage lenders. And 740, anything above 740, it's top tier, right? Once you get past 740, don't worry about it. In fact, I've actually had some clients with scores up in the FICOs of the 800, 820, which is exceptionally high for a FICO, but they had very little credit usage and almost had a problem because they didn't have enough open trade lines. So there's a lot more than just a score. So remember that. Don't pay for your score anywhere. Don't, because it's just going to lie to you. Vantage scores, a lot of these other scores, they skew about 100 points higher. right? So if you come and say, well, I got a Vantage score of 740 and pull your credit on a FICO and you have a 620, that's not so good, right? So just don't waste your money on credit scores. It's not worth it. Or just be aware that Vantage scores skew a lot higher than the FICO scores. So, all right, what back to off that soapbox. So what plays into your rate? Okay, credit score. I already mentioned that. Sort of your credit profile, not as much. All right, but the amount of equity and what you're doing with the house. So if you're doing a refinance and you're not taking cash out and you have a lot of equity, then your rate's going to be very low. If you're doing a refinance and you're taking cash out well, right there, that's going to give you a higher rate. If you don't have a lot of equity, you're up at like 20% equity and you're taking all the way out to that, then your rate's going to be higher. Buying a house, how much you putting down? If it's less than 20, certainly it's going to be a lot more. So there's a lot that goes into what your rate is. So you can't really call somebody up, an honest person at least, and say, Kevin, what is your rate today? What is the rate today? There is no the rate and there is no my rate. It's what is your rate. And that takes some actual planning out. Again, credit score, loan to value, purpose, at least those items. So you have to know those to know what your rate is. And so for every person who calls, I actually have to run a scenario and figure it out. But the Freddie Mac average is a good judge of where rates are at least headed. And right now, they seem to be just holding right around that 3 point. I expect we're going to see a little above 3, a little bit below 3, maybe for quite some time. A lot of people are talking about inflation coming. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. So anyway, hey, 3-day weekend coming up. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. Do something fun with the family. And I hope to see you here again next week. Take care. Bye.